Have you ever had to meet an awkward employee and afterwards wondered how they got the job? Perhaps the fellow was so sticky that you couldn't wait to live there. Most times, businesses suffer because of those kind of employees. In this video, I'm about to share with you a few tips that you should know about those kinds of people and how to watch out for them in your team hiring, so that you don't fall into that same mistake of having employees who paint a bad picture about your business. Stick around. Hi, this is Soil and I am Uzoma. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell because it helps YouTube to suggest this video for your friends. This is the only thing you would do here and you would have added value to this channel. And also don't forget to share this video with as many friends of yours as possible. Remember, YouTube algorithm can only do the rest of the work if you hit that like button. Then your friends could see this same video. Let me tell you a story. About a few years ago, a group of social scientists gathered a bunch of crabs and put them in a bucket, and they found out something very striking. They found out that each time a crab tried to climb out of that bucket, there were other crabs pulling down this one attempting to climb out, and they came to the conclusion and came up with a subject called crab mentality. It's a situation where people within a particular geographical or socioeconomic status fight against each other. This cuts across different stratas of life, whether in politics, in the workforce, anywhere. You would find this same mentality driving most people. Here are a few tips that you should note when you're trying to hire someone, or when you've already hired this person and they're part of your team. Number one, crabs fight each other and pull themselves down, while the elite don't fight themselves. Look out for that person in your organization who is trying to paint a bad picture of another employee. Everything they're trying to paint this bad picture of this same employee, and it's only coming from this singular person. Now, it's a different thing if it's coming from several quarters. There are several people who have the same complaint about this person. It's a totally different thing. But if there's just this one person who doesn't like or doesn't seem to appreciate how this person does his thing, and they're trying to paint a bad picture about this person every single time, that might be a crab within your organization. You've got to deal with that as quickly as possible. Imagine a political scenario where two elite politicians contest for a particular position and one wins, the other fails. And after about 2 weeks, the one who has lost the election visits the winner, and they have a good drink and laugh and smile, while their supporters become crabs fighting against each other. The men who actually took part in the struggle for that position have settled, but the supporters now become crabs fighting each other. Be careful when this happens in your organization, especially if you're trying to elevate somebody, take somebody from a low position to a higher position. When that dust settles, look out for those who may be fighting each other, especially if they were supporters to different parties. What you need in your organization is capability and commitment. You don't need any other thing. So be careful of those who are trying to pull up personal stuffs about other team members just to pull them down. It might be a crab mentality working in your organization. You only need their capability, their efficiency, and their commitment, and that's all. What a person does with his personal life may not be actually your business. It may really be none of your business if you pay attention to these features that I'm giving you today. Number 2 is that the elite think in terms of permanent solutions, but crabs think in terms of temporary solutions. Crabs only think of how they can reduce the effect of the problem momentarily. They're not thinking in terms of permanent solution. How do we solve this problem permanently? But that's how the elites think. Look at an organization and look at the hierarchy of the organization and how the elite leaders think in terms of permanent solution. They're not thinking how do we solve this problem momentarily. No, they're thinking how can we solve this problem and move on. That's how the elites think. So you've got to look out for these even before you think of elevating someone from a previous level to a higher level. The elites usually think of how they can solve a problem for their business, for their organization permanently, especially if that permanent solution will not incur so much cost for the organization. But in a case where it's going to incur so much cost, then they would seek of a second tier level solution that is almost as good as the permanent solution. Number 3, the elites are not scared about the process, especially if the end result can be sustained. While crabs have this phobia for process. Now imagine you have a salesperson and he's pulling up so much numbers, he's closing so much deals, but he's not following your process. One of the things that will eventually do in your organization is to create a culture of nonchalancy where people do not think it's important to follow the due process. So you've got to find a way to solve that problem and ensure that every process within your organization is duly followed so that you can have a team, a culture of elites. In such situation, you have a person who is capable but is not committed. So you've got to challenge them to commit more to the process. And when they fail to do that, please do the needful, because you are not building that system, you're not building that organization just so that someone from somewhere can crumble it in a few minutes. That is not a good thing. Look out for people who are not afraid of the process. They are not afraid to submit and follow the process duly until the desired result is achieved. Number 4, crabs have a warped perspective of themselves, while elites have an extreme perspective of themselves. Now there's a very beautiful story in the Bible about a man called Goliath and how he threatened the people of Israel and frightened them so hard that they were sticking their heads under the sand. No one was brave enough to stand up against this man, and that went on for days on end. In fact, the Masoretic text, which is the authoritative Bible of the Hebrews, has it that Goliath was 9 feet 9 inches. That's like cutting Mr. Peter Dinklage into half and putting one part on Victor Wembanyama. That's a lot of height in one place, but still I could not understand how these people suddenly saw themselves as grasshoppers. The giants who were in the land they were about to possess suddenly became too big that it dwarfed their own perspective of themselves. That is a crab mentality at work there. You don't want that in your organization. You don't want people who are suddenly made into an entity just because someone who has a better understanding, who has a better knowledge base just came in. You don't want people who suddenly lose their self-worth because they're in the midst of people who have a better knowledge. That will affect productivity, that will affect commitment, that will affect capability from their own path. You don't want that. You've got to find a way to solve these issues in your organization and build a team that can achieve the desired results irrespective of any challenges. Now, these are the 4 tips that will help you to look out for the right people and hire the right people. A team is not about having the best people, but the right people. In case you enjoyed this video and you got so much value, please leave a like on this video and also share this video with as many friends of yours as possible. Till I come your way next time. Peace.